Needless to say, everybody and their brother's beagle has covered Chille's bench trial in Las Vegas. All day long yesterday, I, along with hundreds of others, I'm sure, watched and rewatched as Chille, shocked and appalled, was handcuffed and marched away to Bubba's house of joy. I especially enjoyed the laughter of Artie's corporate fiction and Merb 34th Street. Patrick Darcy's review of the trial was enlightening, to say the least. Hello, everybody and everybody else. My name is ScrypKat, and this is ScrypKat Says. Of course, I was looking at all this from a different viewpoint. The viewpoint of Chille's immense ego. The atomic bomb that went off in his head when the judge said, "No, you'll go right now," must have been closer to the Tsar Bomba. First things first. Chille attempted to approach the defendant's table without his attorney. The thug-booted pig stopped him to remind him he had to stand on the X and turn off his phone. When he said he was waiting for his standby attorney, the judge made her first mistake. She made him sit back down and actually wait for his attorney to arrive. How dare she? Chille was under the impression that only he and his attorney had, that he would be operating pro se with a standby attorney. How was he to know that his dreams would be shattered in such a humiliating way? Just as women shouldn't be cops, neither should they be prosecutors or, for heaven's sakes, judges. When finally Mr. Me did arrive and Chille's case was called, they were allowed to proceed to the defendant's table. It was at this time that a court observer heard Mr. Me say to Chille, "You were supposed to be in my office an hour ago." What? Why in the world would Chille need to confer with an inferior legal intellect whose sole duty was to sit at the table and watch Chille eviscerate the stupid cop who gave him unlawful orders and dared to arrest him? Please. The next humiliation came when Judge Zimmerman denied his motion to proceed pro se with a standby attorney. There will be no standby attorneys in this trial. Either you allow Mr. Me to represent you, or you proceed pro se. I have a feeling this upset Mr. Me much more than it did Chille, since they didn't have their pre-trial powwow to discuss strategy. Mr. Me was left floundering from the start. How much he was floundering was exemplified by his lack of objections to the prosecutor's obviously leading of the witness, Officer Bork. Throughout his testimony, I'm not a lawyer, but even I was aware of that, yet not one objection from Mr. Me. It's obvious that Chille was furious that Mr. Me couldn't shake the officer's testimony, nor could he somehow keep the body cam video from being presented to the judge for her consideration. Ah, yes, the body cam video. Chille's video was so much better. Why did they have to degrade his performance with that obvious piece of trash? Finally, Mr. Me called Chille to the stand. I'm convinced Mr. Me knew this would be a disaster, but he was just doing what his client wanted done. Once again, the judge's and the prosecutor's conspiracy of hatred for the First Amendment were highlighted when Chille was prevented from stating his narrative of events. How was he supposed to present his groundbreaking First Amendment defense when the ponytails wouldn't let him rail against the abuses of the thug-booted pig gangs here in Las Vegas as well as across the country? He was nationally and internationally known. Were they not cognizant of who had graced their courtroom? The drama came to a head when the prosecutor declined to cross-examine Chille. There was an audible whoosh when the air was let out of that balloon. I was appalled when the judge told Chille to stand up, sit down, stand up again. Did she think he was a jack-in-the-box she could play with at her leisure? Chille had full command of the courtroom as he bobbed his head up and down, agreeing with the ponytail judge that he wanted these confrontations for his YouTube channel. The thumbs up was his "up yours" as the judge regaled him with his stance concerning police officers the nation over. I'm pretty sure everyone thought the prosecutor would get her way with the punishment she proffered, Mr. Me was so shook up by this time he couldn't even finish his penalty recommendation. And then the final shoe dropped. There was a gasp heard round the country when Chille asked, 90 days suspended? And the judge replied, no, it starts right now. What else could he do but sputter something stupid about being punished for not liking pigs? His wit seems to have deserted him, and all he was left with was barking orders to the bailiffs and to Mr. Me. His last words, call my assistant James, were immediately acted upon, I'm sure. Will he appeal? Will Mr. Me help him appeal? Why wasn't Mr. Me representing him during his arraignment the day before? Will Chille have enough commissary money? Will he have access to an iPad or a tablet? However is he going to maintain his YouTube channel or his website, which according to him is where most of his income is generated? Alas and alack, that very website is gone. Did his trusty assistant James take it down? Did the domain owner find out that Chille was offering legal counsel illegally? And what of his YouTube channel? Will it be able to survive without Chille's input for 6 months? Is this the end of our beloved Chille? I'm all a-Twitter waiting for his court appearance on May 1st. Narcissism, arrogance, bluster, and bluff simply couldn't save Chille this time. And the stories continue. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.